Hello, my name is Brianna Gravatt, and sometimes, most of the time, I like to tell stories like this one. When we were kids, my mother used to take my brothers and I to the grocery store with her, and as we walked down each aisle, my mother would speak to every single person she passed along the way, and by the time we made it to the checkout counter, my mother had made friends with every single person that was at the A&P at that moment. So much so that these quick trips to the supermarket always lasted longer than we had the childhood patience for. And it wasn't until years later, when I caught myself doing the very same thing, that I realized how much I inherited from these moments, and what a tremendous gift it was that my mother bestowed upon me. For I have to admit, I am a curious, curious creature. I love to talk to people. I like to ask questions. I like to learn things. I like to understand. And it is this curiosity that gets me through each day. And it is also this curiosity that keeps me up at night. And that is why, in April, I embarked on a 5-month pilgrimage, haphazardly tracing the Templar Trail from Jerusalem westward to Europe. And I began first in India and then traveled on to Lebanon, Jordan, Israel, Turkey, the Balkans, the Balkans, Italy, France, and eventually it led to a 500-mile walk across Spain. Normal. And I went out in the world to talk to people because I found that in the months before that, I wasn't able to speak to people in my own language, in my own country, and that broke my heart. So I went out in the world to talk to people in other countries and hear their stories and to listen to them and to learn and hopefully be able to understand this world and the people who live in it a little bit better. Now, if that in itself is not complex, there are simple reasons and there are complex reasons as to why I went out as well. Simple in that I am an art historian and I love a good adventure. And what art historian in their right mind would say no to seeing with their own eyes the likes of the Taj Mahal, Petra, Baalbek, Hagia Sophia, and follow in the footsteps of Alexander the Great, Moses, Saladin? If you ask me, that's a good enough reason as any to get out there and explore the world. But it was also complex because as a student of history, as a child of history, I am all too aware of how in the 21st century, so many of us know what it is like to go to war in one sense or another. And so few of us know what it is like to come from war, or rather, to turn our backs on war, to turn our backs on our lesser selves, and instead choose empathy, choose understanding, choose compassion, so that we may one day know peace. And what I found in traveling to all of these places is that with everyone I spoke to, they all wanted that very same thing. And what I also found very interesting while I was away, and I knew this while I was in America, but it was, accentuated while I was gone, was that after war, or even sometimes during war, we still seek to create, whether it is a life, a love, a home, a work of art, even though we know just how destructive we can be. And there is something so profound in this. And this is something that gives me hope. So please, join me on the B-sides as I tell stories of hope from all of the places that I travel to, and stories of hope from all of the people that I spoke to. Because if you're like me, you can use a little more hope in your life. And who knows, you just might find yourself, like I have time and time again on this journey, lingering just a little bit longer at the grocery store, speaking to strangers, and leaving as friends.